Hi and welcome back to another tech wrap tutorial. My name is Melissa Crafter, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how I put this super fun hibiscus design on my Libby glass. To make this decal, I use TeckWrap's new neon color changing vinyl. This vinyl is cold color changing, so it does change color once chilled below 59 degrees Fahrenheit. In this video, I'm also going to be sharing some tips and tricks on how to weed out small, fine detail vinyl cuts. And I'm also going to be showing you how I layer my full wrap vinyl decals. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to this channel if you aren't already. Before we begin, I want to show you guys where I got the SVG cut file. I did purchase it off Etsy. The shop name is SVG Nice Design. I purchased it and I downloaded it to my computer. Now heading back to Cricut Design Space, I'm going to upload my SVG onto my canvas. Here, looking at our decal, we see that it's a 3-part cut decal. My cutting machine is going to cut each one of these layers separately. I am now going to click Make It and send it off to my cutting machine. I want to show you the neon color changing vinyls that TeckWrap offers on their website. They can be purchased in a sheet pack and they also offer them in rolls. These are so fun and bright and they offer a fun surprise to your vinyl decals. Here are the 2 color changing vinyls that I'm going to be using for this decal. The green one is aqua dark green and the pink one is pink purple. I'm also going to be using this glossy vinyl, which is part of TeckWrap's 001 glossy vinyl series. This one is in the color vanilla. So I'm going to load my TeckWrap cutting mat with each one of these vinyl colors individually so that my cutting machine can cut out all 3 layers of my decal. You do want to make sure that your mat here aligns to your mat on Cricut Design Space. That way your vinyl decal will cut within your vinyl. All TeckWrap vinyl comes with this clear protective sheet on it to protect it from getting scratched. You do want to make sure to remove that before sending it off to your cutting machine. So here my cutting machine has already cut out all 3 parts of my vinyl decal. I am now going to weed out the excess vinyl. To do that, I'm going to be using my TeckWrap weeding pen. I like to go in on one of the corners and start to remove that big piece of excess vinyl. I then go in with my weeding pen and remove those small detail cuts. This last layer of my decal, I'm actually going to use a different method to weed out the excess vinyl. Since this layer does have a lot of small detail cuts, I don't want any of those small vinyl pieces to be lifted if I were to be removing that big piece of excess vinyl. I'm going to be using the reverse weeding method. For this method, I'm going to add a piece of transfer tape on top of this entire layer. My TeckWrap squeegee, I'm going to press down on my transfer tape to make sure that it's well adhered onto my vinyl. I am then going to remove the backing. Then using my weeding pen, I'm going to go in and remove that big piece of excess vinyl. All of the important vinyl pieces are going to stay stuck on the transfer tape. I am now going to layer the rest of my vinyl decal. Layer it, I'm going to be using the parchment paper hack or the parchment paper method. To do this, you're going to want a piece of parchment paper that is the same size of your vinyl decal, and you're going to want to place it on top of your bottom layer. You then want to place your top layer on top. You'll be able to see through the parchment paper and you can move both pieces around and play around with the placement. Your top layer will not stick to your parchment paper. You do want to leave a piece of transfer tape up at the top exposed without parchment paper underneath. That way when you find the correct placement, you can adhere that part onto your workspace, and then you can lift up that top layer and remove your parchment paper to bring together your top and your bottom layer. So you're going to play around with the placement until you find that good spot where your top layer and your bottom layer aligns. Once you find that perfect placement, you're going to adhere that exposed part of transfer tape onto your workspace. Lift up your top layer and remove your parchment paper to bring both layers together. I love using this method because it helps me layer my decals perfectly every time. Using my squeegee, I'm going to press down to make sure that my vinyl adheres on to my transfer tape. I am then going to remove the backing off of my vinyl. Next, I'm going to repeat these same steps to add this last part of my layered decal. I'm going to add my parchment paper on top of my bottom layer and add my top layer on top. Again, you're going to play around with the placement and you're going to leave that piece of transfer tape up at the top exposed without parchment paper underneath. Once you find the correct placement, you're going to want to adhere that exposed part and then remove your parchment paper and bring your top and your bottom layer together. I am then going to remove the backing. So here is my full wrap decal ready to be applied onto my cup. So here's the cup I'm going to be using. It is a 16-ounce Libby glass. I did wipe it off with the alcohol prep pad to make sure that my vinyl has a good surface to adhere well to. Now taking my full wrap decal, I'm going to try to center this as best as I could onto my cup. Now using my hand, I'm going to press down all the way around my decal to make sure that it adheres on well to my cup. I'm also going to use my squeegee to press down on my vinyl all the way around my cup. And now slowly removing my transfer tape. And here is how my cup turned out. I absolutely loved using this vinyl. It is super bright and fun. All the materials used in this video will be linked down below in the video description. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you aren't subscribed to this channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching.